This program is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure any illness. Please speak with your doctor when starting a new health program.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're listening to us. Welcome to Wellness Talk for this week. This is George Batista, as always, coming at you, bringing you the latest in health, healing, nutrition, fitness, supplements, and all the stuff we can do to take control of our health, because we definitely need it. Glad you guys could be with me. As always, you can go to platinumnutritionals.com to check out any of the articles that I go over on a weekly basis. And you could also check out our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is actually really doing well and is growing by leaps and bounds. So I definitely suggest those of you on Facebook come check it out, because I'm posting a lot of stuff on there. And and it's not just articles. There's a lot of cool things, just like, did you know type stuff. I've been posting a lot of stuff regarding, different foods and different fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. And so I'm getting a lot of cool feedback on that. If you guys want to check it out, definitely go there and take a look. It's, the Facebook page is Platinum Nutritionals. So check it out there. And of course, if you're listening to us on any of the podcasts, whether it's Google Podcasts or any of the other stuff, be sure to subscribe. Even if on YouTube, give us a like. And if you have any questions for me, you can always go to support@platinumnutritionals.com, and I can answer any questions for you, within reason, of course, and maybe I'll answer some questions on the air for you. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in, and, try to support us as much as possible, because I'm going to be giving you gems, more and more gems. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming up. I'm going to see if I'm going to try to line up some good interviews as well, moving forward. That's part of the plan. And also, there's going to be some good stuff coming on as far as products and downloads and different things you guys can take with you and listen to and get some useful information from. So, a lot of stuff on tap coming up, so it's exciting. Anyway, so this week I'm going to do something a little bit different. Instead of going over some articles that I normally do on a weekly basis, I want to kind of change up the format a little bit. I want to talk about, because we're getting to the winter. Well, I mean, obviously we're not in the winter yet, but it's already September. And, before you know it, it's going to start getting cold for those of us, in the Northeast, but, pretty much everywhere. It even gets cold in Florida sometimes, right? So I want to go over some things that you guys can do to make sure to put the odds in your favor, to make sure that you keep yourself and your immunity in tip-top shape for the winter coming up. And I want to give you guys some really, really good ideas. I'm also going to tell you what I do. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I do on a regular basis, and I hope you can get a lot out of this, because this has helped me for the past, I want to say 10 years of, me really optimizing my immunity. And you guys know, those of you who have seen my interviews know what I dealt with in the past. So I'm going to give you some tips, and I'm going to really, really hit you with some really cool tips I think you guys will enjoy, and tips and strategies that you can utilize. So the main focus today is going to be focusing on two things. It's going to be focusing on vitamin D and vitamin C. Why? Because those are the main two things that you want to make sure that you optimize to get through this winter, right? We've got, COVID around. We've got Delta variants, Alpha variants, every kind of variant there is out there. We've got flu season coming up. And I'm not only going to give you tips on preventing, but I'm also going to give you tips on if you get sick. What happens if you get sick, right? And what are the things you can do naturally to help out on that end, okay? So there's going to be some good stuff here. So, definitely, keep tuned on this, because I think you'll enjoy this. Now, I want to talk a little bit of, first of all, behind the mindset behind this first, because mindset has so much to do with this business of health. So I want to talk a little bit about mindset first, because again, if you don't have the right mindset, it doesn't matter, right? If you are a person that is looking for the government, the World Health Organization, the FDA, all those type of organizations to regulate your health and to come out with stuff, whether it's pharmaceuticals or vaccines or whatever it is, to keep yourself healthy, then maybe this podcast isn't for you, okay? But if you are the type of person that says, you know what, I'm not going to leave it in the hands of those people, okay? I'm going to leave it because keep in mind that those people have agendas. There are agendas out there. Shock, right? What a shock. There are actually agendas out there, and they filter what they want to tell you, okay? How many people out there right now are talking about boosting immune system in the media? When was the last time you turned on CNN and you heard, hey, let's keep ourselves healthy. Let's boost our immune system. Let's take vitamin D, vitamin C, and all these things. When was the last time you heard that on CNN or MSNBC or any of these local channels? You don't hear that, right? All you hear about is go get your vaccine. Listen, whether you get your vaccine or don't get your vaccine, that's up to you. Everybody can make their own decisions for themselves and their family, okay? But the way I approach it is, whether you do it or not, optimize your immune system. And by the way, those of you, I don't know if whoever's listening to the podcast, if you go to my Facebook page or if you go to our YouTube, you'll see the interview I did last week with Charles McNamara. By the way, shout out to him from CM Fire Safety and Life Consulting, which is his page. And we talked about, boosting the immune system, and especially for first responders, but for anybody. The information applies to anybody, right? And we talked about the mindset. We talked about tips and tricks to, especially coming into the flu seasons and things like that. So, if you guys haven't seen that, check out that interview. It was a lot of fun, and we're going to be doing more of those as well. So, anyway, the mindset. Going back to mindset. You really have to understand that you have so much control over your health, way more than what people tell you, way more than what the news tells you, way more than what these health organizations tell you. They don't want you to have control over your health. Why? Because then you need them less. Unfortunately, that's as basic as you can get. You need them less. So, they want to say that they're protecting you and they're doing all these things in the name of health. And so this is why they have to have this. And only that thing is proven. Nothing else is proven, which is nonsense. It's complete nonsense. Okay. There are so many things proven out there that doctors or alternative doctors or naturopaths or functional medicine doctors or nutritionists are using every single day. Thousands of them are used every single day, and you don't hear about. And it's sad. And that's why guys like me do shows like this, because I want you to see the other side of things. Because everybody can turn on the news and see what's on the news, right? It's all there. But I want you to see the other side of things. I want you to see that you can do something, okay? You can actually do something to change the outcome. It's not set in stone. I don't care what your situation is. You wouldn't believe the things that I've seen people recover from. It's unbelievable. But it starts with the mindset. It starts with the belief that you can do it, the belief that you can sustain it, the belief that you're going to be consistent, okay? Because remember, mindset right there is 50% of it, okay? The rest is easy. The rest is all the nutrition and all the other stuff, right? But the mindset is 50%. If you don't have the mindset set, doesn't matter, okay? Mind and body are connected. So I just want to kind of give you that as to preface this, because you're going to have to understand that there's diligence involved. Now, at the same time, these things that I'm going to tell you, again, these are things that I do, okay? None of this is a replacement if you do get sick with something, whether it's COVID or flu or whatever it is. Nothing is to replace you having to go to the hospital if you need to, having to see a doctor if you need to. This is not a replacement for that. So just keep that in mind. The things I'm going to tell you, though, is, again, what I do on a regular basis before flu season starts. So let's start with step one. The first thing we do is, it's already September. We've got to start optimizing vitamin D, period. Okay? Now, the reason why you want to do this is because vitamin D takes a while to build up in your blood. Now, many of you may have been outside this summer, may have been taking in sun. You may have gotten some good vitamin D out there, okay? And I hope you did. Just keep in mind there are a few things with vitamin D. Number one, let's talk a little bit about vitamin D first. How is vitamin D made? Vitamin D is made by your skin's response to sunlight. Okay, so what happens is the UVB radiation hits your skin, okay? Then cholesterol, which is under your skin, actually starts this process and actually starts to gather, okay? Because remember, vitamin D is a hormone, really. It's not a vitamin. It's an actual hormone, okay? And it's made starts in your skin and again in response to sunlight. So cholesterol actually starts this process, okay, and takes the hormone, brings it to your liver, okay, and your liver starts to convert it from vitamin D2 to vitamin D3. Okay, this is and this is a very general way of describing it, but that's what happens. Okay, and once that's done, then it's dispersed out to the body, and you have vitamin D receptors all over your skin. This is why when you're out there and you're getting sunlight, okay, whether it's on your face or on your legs or on your arms or whatever it is, you can still get vitamin D. Okay, so this is what happens. Now, just so you guys know, if you are in the sunlight, let's say 20 minutes to a half hour, without any sun protection, by the way, you're going to get at least 20,000 units of vitamin D right there. Now, the first question you're going to ask me is, holy cow, 20,000, that's a lot. Is it possible for the human body to overdose on vitamin D from the sun? No, it's not, because your body is very, very smart, right? Your body has intelligence. It knows how to regulate itself. So it regulates itself properly to keep itself in balance, okay? Think about it, right? Our ancestors were in the sun all day long. If people overdosed on vitamin D, our ancestors were all been dead. None of us would be here, right? Think logically about that, right? So anyway, you're getting 20,000 units of vitamin D right there, right? Now what happens? Once we start to get into the fall, we're getting less sun, right? It's starting to get a little cold now. We're starting to put jackets on. We're going outside. We're not going outside as much. We're staying indoors a lot more. Okay, so vitamin D little by little starts to go down. And by the way, just as an aside, the amount of vitamin D you get is also dictated by your skin pigment. Okay, so I'm a Hispanic guy. I'm a little darker than many people out there. So it takes more for vitamin D to get into my system because of my skin pigment. Okay, so that plays a role as well. Okay, so when we start to get into the fall and winter months, the first thing you need to do is to get yourself a vitamin D supplement. Okay, that's the only way you're going to get vitamin D in the winter. What does vitamin D do? Vitamin D supercharges your immune system. Okay, vitamin D, it does tons of things. There's so many reactions that vitamin D has, but the main thing is supercharging your immune system. It helps to build bones, okay? Along with magnesium, vitamin K, and calcium. Vitamin D also helps for bone health, okay? Vitamin D helps with cognitive health. Vitamin D helps with blood pressure regulation. All these things, and there's a ton of things to list. Vitamin D helps with, okay? So, first thing to do, get yourself a vitamin D supplement. Take that vitamin D supplement. Now, a couple of rules of thumb. The least amount of vitamin D you want to take is 1,000 units. That's the least. Don't listen to the recommended daily allowance. The recommended daily allowance is ridiculous. It's basically enough to prevent rickets, okay? They're telling you 400 to 600 units. No, you want to start at 1,000. That's what's going to start to move the needle, okay? Now, I would recommend if you are getting a physical anytime soon, get your vitamin D checked. See where the number is, okay? but start with 1,000. Go up from there. If your vitamin D is very low, then you boost it up 2,000 to 3,000. Okay. I personally start taking 5,000 units of vitamin D around late August, early September. That's what I do. And I take it every single day with food. Okay. Why do I take it with food? Because it's a fat soluble nutrient. Okay. So it's designed, when you take it in, it's designed to be absorbed with fat. Okay. So that's another tip there. Take it with a meal, preferably containing fat. Even if you put some butter on toast and take it, do it that way. However, but just take it with some fat. I guarantee you it will absorb much better. Now, the more you weigh, the more you need. If you're if you're overweight, obese, you're going to need more. It takes a lot more. I'm recommending 5,000 to 7,000 units a day for those people who are very overweight or obese. Okay. Again, it takes more to get into your system and to get those numbers up. What's the range? Well, you want to get your level. And when you get your vitamin D blood test, it's going to be a number. Okay, that's nanomoles per liter. Okay, it's going to be a number, and it's going to tell you exactly what the number is. The number could be 25, 35, 45, whatever it is. You want that number ideally to be between 50 and 70. That's what your optimal range should be. That's where you really start to get the benefits of immunity, 50 to 70. If your vitamin D is less than 50, you are deficient. I don't care what the doctor says. Okay, doctors, some of these doctors are good. Some of these doctors will tell you, oh, you got 35 or 40, you're fine. No, you're not. You want it between 50 and 70. That's the marker. Okay, so take your vitamin D throughout the winter, 3, 4, 5,000 units. That's fine. You're not going to overdose. You are not going to overdose. You would have to get into the 300,000 range in order to even overdose on a vitamin D supplement. Okay, so the studies have shown that. Okay, so that's step one. Vitamin D, get that up to the range. So by the time Christmas time comes, you want your vitamin D 50 or above. Okay, that's going to make a huge difference in dealing with colds and flus. I'm telling you, because I've done it every year, and my family does it every year like clockwork. Okay, this is a guy that had bronchitis every year. All right. And I haven't had bronchitis. I can't even tell you the last time I had bronchitis. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, I want you to go and get yourself vitamin C. Okay, now, by the way, the supplements that I recommend are the highest quality supplements out there. If you choose to get them somewhere else, that's fine. But if you want to get them from a great price, and from the supplements that I personally take and that I recommend, go to myvitaminresource.com. And by the way, just so you know, they're having a sale on immune supplements. Okay, huge sale on immune supplements right now with Wellness Resources. So check that out. It's on the Facebook page. But again, if you go to myvitaminresource.com, click on there, huge sale. Huge percentage off of immune supplements because they know that we're getting into the winter. Now, get yourself some vitamin C. When you look at the back of the vitamin C, what do you want to see? You want to see ascorbic acid. I want it to be plain vitamin C. If it has other things like rose hips and things like that, that's fine. But it's got to be ascorbic acid vitamin C because this is the one that's going to be the most effective. Okay? It cannot be a food grade vitamin C because it's too weak. Okay? At least 1,000 units. What I would recommend, and again, this is what I do. I take 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day in divided doses. I take 2 in the morning. I take 2 in the afternoon. Why do I do that? Because vitamin C is constantly circulating in through your system. Okay? But vitamin C is water soluble. So vitamin C, when you take it, goes up in your system. And then little by little throughout the day comes down, right? Comes out in sweat, comes out when you go to the bathroom, right? And it little by little goes down. The body takes what it needs and it discards the rest, okay? If it comes out in your pee, that's why they call it expensive urine, right? But the body uses what it needs and then discards it. So I like to keep my vitamin C high. So the way you do that is you take it in a couple of steps. Take it in the morning, and you take it again in the afternoon, or take it in the evening, okay? But this way, it keeps the level of vitamin C in your system high. This way, there's, when it starts to come down, you bring it right back up. Why is this important? Because vitamin C is one of the most powerful antioxidants there is, okay? When you have inflammation, which a cold, a flu, a virus, bacteria, whatever it is inflammation, the first immune cells that get to that inflammation to deal with it are called the monocytes. The monocytes, 80% of the vitamin C you have in your system is in those monocytes. Those immune cells start to fight and deal with and oxidize or get rid of the inflammation. Okay, that's what vitamin C does. It gets rid of inflammation. Okay, if you have constant vitamin C circulating in your system on a regular basis, okay, if you come in contact with whatever it is, okay, cold, flu, whatever it is, you already have vitamin C on board. All that vitamin C, as soon as it sees the pathogen, as soon as it sees inflammation, it's going to rush to that system and go to work. Okay? So now you have vitamin D high and you have vitamin C circulating. Okay? That's like your frontline army ready to do battle at any given time. This is huge. And I'm telling you this because, again, I've done it for years. Okay? So this is huge. Vitamin C, extremely important. Now, what do we do if we get a cold, if we get a flu, or we're starting to feel like we're getting a cold, we're getting a flu? And I'm sure those of you who have gotten sick and have gotten sick throughout your life, right? You can kind of tell when you're getting it, right? Everybody's symptoms are a little bit different. Mine used to start in my throat. I used to start to feel a scratchy throat, right? That's how I knew right away I started to get the sniffles. Then eventually it would start to lead into fever and then the lungs and all this. And forget it, I was a mess, okay? But this is what I do. And this is what my family does. As soon as if I feel anything coming on board, I have my pack of vitamin C, okay? I start taking 1,000 units of vitamin C every 2 hours. That's right, you heard me right. Every 2 hours. Why do I do that? Perfect. The reason why. Because if, again, you are dealing with inflammation, right? Cold, flu is an inflammation, whatever it is, okay? Once that inflammation starts, your body takes the majority of the vitamin C it's got on board, and it's going to use it to attack that inflammation. If you don't put any vitamin C back into your system, you are going to be deficient. If it runs out of that vitamin C, because remember, your body tightly regulates vitamin C, okay? So it's going to hold on to some so you don't develop scurvy. So it's going to ration it. It's going to put some to the side so you don't develop scurvy, but at the same time, it's going to use as much as it can to fight whatever it is you're dealing with. The problem is, and it's going to use other antioxidants too, right? It's going to use tons of antioxidants, whatever antioxidants you have on board. The problem is if you're running low on antioxidants, you're in trouble. It's as simple as that, okay? So what you want to do is you want to keep that vitamin C circulating in your system constantly all day long if you're dealing with something, okay? And that is going to actually, it's just going to go, your vitamin C is going to go back up, your body's going to use it. The sicker you are, the more your body needs vitamin C. Period. Okay? So take that vitamin C every 2 hours, 1,000. Just keep doing it. I know it's difficult. You may have a job that doesn't let you do it. You may, it may be difficult for you to navigate that. Okay? But if you're at work, put your vitamin C bottle on your desk and pop it. Put a timer on your phone. And just when that phone goes off, you pop it. If you're at home, put a timer on your Alexa. Put a timer on your phone, whatever it is, and pop it. Just take it. Just take it. You don't know how many times I've done this when I used to get really, really sick. And I tell you what, if I started to get sick in the morning, by the evening, you could feel the difference. That's how fast it was. Okay? What was it? 2 years ago, my daughter came up out of nowhere, had a fever. Okay, no other symptoms, just a fever. So what did I do? I popped her full of vitamin C every 2 hours. Okay, and I did it all. We did it all day long, and we set Alexa as a timer, and we popped it. It was difficult for her because she's not used to taking supplements like this, right? But I did it keep in mind, my daughter was, 13 at the time. Popped it every 2 hours. Boom, 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 right? Then she went to sleep. Next morning, we started again. Boom, 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 every 2 hours. By the second day, that fever was gone. No other symptoms. It was gone. And I'm telling you this because I've done it. Okay, so again, you guys, this is not a replacement for if you are really sick and you have to go to the hospital. I just want to make sure I hammer that home. This is something you can do on the onset, okay? Even if it lessens your symptoms of something, this is huge, right? This could mean the difference between you having to go to the hospital or whatever, okay? Again, if you have to go, you go, okay? There's no toying around with something that is serious. But these are tips that you can use, okay? So vitamin D, vitamin C, okay? And again, I did this when I used to get bronchitis, and I'm telling you, it was like magic. It was like magic. But you got to be diligent with it, okay? On top of that, you want to hydrate. Hydrate constantly, whether it's Gatorade, whether it's just constant water. Hydrate. Keep hydrating. Why? Because your system needs that hydration, because your body also uses the water in your system to help fight viruses as well, and to help things circulating, to make sure that it gets rid of these viruses and bacteria and all these things, and eventually gets it out of your system when you go to the bathroom, right? You pee a lot of that stuff out. Okay, I'm just straight shooting with you guys because I don't sugarcoat this stuff. All right. The other thing you want to do is if you do feel something coming on, lower your sugar intake, because sugar intake will deplete the immune system. It will deplete your vitamin C, by the way, just so you know that as well. But try to take as little sugar as possible for that time frame. All right. For the duration of your sickness. Okay, so vitamin D, vitamin C, water, lowering sugar. Okay, and then obviously rest. Okay, if you can do those things, right, and you most likely will see a big difference if you are starting to feel something coming on. Again, this is this going to work for every single person? Maybe not. But you know what? It's not going to. The worst that could happen with popping vitamin C that way, okay? By the way, just so you, as a separate thing, vitamin C has what's called bowel tolerance. The worst that could happen is you can get a rumble in your stomach, and you may get some loose stool or diarrhea, okay? If you're popping vitamin C all day, okay? But if you did that on a regular basis without being sick, the amount of vitamin C it would take for you to end up in the bathroom would be much less, because you're not dealing with a sickness, right? You're not dealing with an illness. But once you're dealing with an illness, again, the body's need for vitamin C goes up, so you're going to need more. So less chance of you having to go to the bathroom. But if after popping all that C, you feel that your stomach is getting upset, or you need to, you're in the bathroom with loose stool or diarrhea, then you cut back, then you stop, you slow down, okay? Because that's the body's way of telling you, okay, you're saturated, we've had enough, let's calm down, okay? And then you let time go by, okay? Let time go by and let your body do what it needs to do to heal. If those of you who are sensitive to vitamin C, by the way, ascorbic acid, straight ascorbic acid, many of you have been, okay? There is also a buffered form of vitamin C, which is coated, which helps with digestion. It doesn't give you any problems with acidity or anything like that. Again, these are things that you can do in the winter to help mitigate these issues, whatever you're dealing with. But these are things that I do, okay? So take it for what it is. Try these things, but the main thing is prevention. You don't want to get anything to begin with, right? So my suggestion, take the C, take the D. I know it's going to cost you a little bit extra per month, for the winter, but you know what? This is your health. Remember, this is your health. You want to keep your health and your family's health, you know, you want to keep yourselves as healthy as possible. And my job, you know, this is a public service for me to help you guys and give you some tips and tricks on how to keep yourselves healthy and your families healthy. Okay, because again, I've done it. So just some tips, guys. Hope you guys got a lot out of this. And, you know, again, the vitamins that I recommend, the supplements that I recommend, always myvitaminresource.com. Again, they're having a sale right now on immune supplements. Check it out. This amazing immune supplements. I'd stock up for the winter, honestly, because if they run out or if you run out, well, you know, then you've got to take your chances. Okay. We know kids are going back to school these days, you know, and you don't know what they're bringing home. So just keep those things in the back of your mind. Take control of your health. All right. So thanks, guys, for being on with me again this week. Hope you got a lot out of this. We'll be back next week again with the latest health news and some more tips and tricks. So remember, support at platinumnutritionals.com. If you have some questions for me, check out the Facebook page, YouTube page, website. And as always, guys, take control, stay healthy. See you next time.